Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going over why you see so much Jett on Haven, not just in rank, but team play, like VCT, Premier, and just like giving an overall breakdown of how you can use Jett and like just exploit her on Haven. And just play around her, build around her, the character itself. We're going to start on defense and how you can control so much of the map with the op. So you have the Blade Storm, which makes Jett really good for retaking, because if you're like retaking a site with an op is never going to be fun. It's like the same reason you never see people entry with an op. It's because you don't want to be sitting out here, like it takes so long to clear, and you properly like do this takes so long. Versus like with say blades, you can have even more fluid motion because you're no running gun. You can spam, jump, b-hop, whatever. You can pretty much just entry into the site with blades and just like tear them apart. So that's one thing that makes Jett able to have an op over some other players, or agents rather. Chamber with the Headhunter, sort of a similar feel, if that makes sense. So to start, I think sewer is the more common line to get onto. So if Jett just gets into sewers, sees one, boom, kills them. If she's like getting drowned out, she just dash out. Or if like if they throw like a sky dog or like throw some sort of utility at you, you just dash off. And you can just like updraft up here, boom, hold this, and you just back out. And you can give up the site or hold a weird angle like this. Now the main reason that I think Jett is so commonly picked, like with the op on sewer, is because if you hold this line, you really don't need a long player, or vice versa. Like if you have just one player holding this choke here, this connects to here, and they can't really get past you unless they smoke you off, or force you to just say they throw a breach down here, and you have to just get out. So you just like go out like that. That's really the only way you can deny this space for the defenders. So if you can get to the point where your Jett is just holding either this line or some sort of line like this, then you only need one player on A, which is the Jett with the op, and you can throw like two here, one here, one here, or one here, one here, and like two on C. So you can really just heavily stack the right side of the map, and you just, so say the Jett gets here, and you can have like, I don't know, say Sova Garage, Omen, Cypher C, and then your Breach on B or something like this. Maybe these two would switch, because well, Breach is typically going to be in B, so it'd shift down. You just like, you're not going to lose C if you have Omen and Cypher here. You have the Unbreakable Trip, you can have Paranoia off of it. And you just have Breach here as well for the fault line. You can throw a flash here. If they're in Garage, you can Aftershock something weird like this. Off of the Cypher Trip. You just hold a lot of space with it. If you're Sova, you can drone down mid. And like, if they're A, they're gonna walk right into the crosshair unless they throw, like, if they don't play the game properly, then you can punish them so heavily and just like blow up their round. They just need to throw some sort of smoke here, that way they can walk into it, walk down sewer, or walk into it, walk back out long. If they don't throw any sort of like util here, I mean the same thing goes for Viper as well, with the 2023 meta, where you're seeing teams throw this like every round. Like this kind of does the same purpose, where if you have an op here, it blocks it off. If you have an op down here, blocks it off. Which was why this was so commonly picked in my opinion, because it helps just allow people to avoid the op. Viper also, like, if you get into the site, you're not losing retake, because you just have like the Viper pit or the Viper Orb rather, and then you have two different mollies. When you have the ult online, the 7 or 8 cost ult, I think it was 8 at that point. It's now 9, I think. You can just like throw a plant, you have mollies, you're just not losing the post plant. And you have the orb on bomb or CT, you can pick up the orb. You just have a lot of options with it. But kind of off topic there. But with the Jett, you can just control this entire line if they don't play the game properly with an op. And if you get thrown off with something that isn't a smoke, you can dash out. And then like reposition. Like say it's a Silver Drone that's clearing you out, or a Sky Dog. Like say Sky's up here and dogs you off. Then you can just dash away. You're not going to get punished by it. And you can just hold this line with an op now. You will need someone watching your like long, because there's nothing really stopping you from getting flanked, but you will still have this sewer line, and it's impossible to really disrespect unless they throw another wave of utility. Like say a Sky Flash. And then you throw a smoke. Something like this and just back up again. Maybe you throw another smoke if you're scared of long. And then for the sight hit, all they really have is another Sky Flash. So you've, at this point, pulled out all of Sky's utility, and they either have to commit on the sight hit with no utility, or they have to rotate. I mean, if you really think about it, this is kind of what happened on Ascent with the Chamber meta. Where you were seeing Fade get picked because you have the Prowlers, KO was still getting picked because you had the knife, you had the 2 flashes, you had the Fade Eye, the KO knife. Like, you just had so much utility to pull off the Chamber, to where, like, you almost had to pick both of those agents for combined 6 viable abilities just to get the Chamber off of the, like, off of an angle. Because, like, it was just that strong. And then Chamber would just, boom, TP out with his little double TP setup. Like, if you really think about it, like, Jett kind of just does the same thing. So it makes sense why she's still, like, picked frequently. Like, she's truly no different than a Chamber in the grand scheme of things on defense. And if anything, she's a bit better because, say, it's A and she has an op, well, most characters are going to be, like, messed up by this. Say, like, a Yoru's going to have to, like, retake this with, like, someone else's Vandal. And you're throwing, like, an Initiator under the boss, but Jett, just, like, you pop blades. You can, like, go in. She's kind of just, like, entering with, like, another gun. Or retaking, rather. You have smoke for, like, tapping the bomb. You can smoke the enemies off. So, like, defensively, she's really good with an op. Because she pretty much has no downsides with an op. Her utility, you don't need to use it proactively. So, like, a Sova, like, the second you get it, you want to throw it, say, like, I don't know, mid or something. Just for you to get the info. And if you, like, there's an opportunity cost if you don't throw the scan. But if you do throw the scan, then, like, if you have an op on Sova for some reason, then you can't hold the angle. But with Jett, you have no utility that you have to worry about. And the only utility that you have helps you. It's like a dash. Boom, dash off. Or, like I see a breach stun coming, or breach flash, I mean. You can just smoke yourself off, or you can updraft out. And, like, none of this really prevents you from opping as well. Like, it doesn't really take you out of your flow. It's like, you can prime a Jett dash, like, while fully scoped. So it's not like you have to, like, unscope, scope back in, boom, dash off. Like, it's all one fluid motion. So, like, you have no downsides with opping, and you only have, like, benefits, really, when you're opping. And that's not even, like, the best part with Jett. Like, you have the ability to op, yes. You have the ability to control an entire line by yourself, or, like, in the case of A, you can control 2 lines before they intersect, in this A lobby area, like you can control A lobby with an op, you just control A with one player. But you also have the benefit of being able to just like get aggressive with Jett. Something like this, like you're pretty much just entering down. And let's talk about her entering. Like having two smokes is really nice here because she can fill the role of a sniper if needed, which she shouldn't really, but she can if she needs to. And then for entering, boom, you just throw a smoke in here, throw a second smoke. Then you'll probably have a breach flash back here, some sort of Sova scan in sight.
Here.
And you have this all this utility like for you. And you're just playing the game on easy mode. You're pretty much aimbotting in a smoke. They have really no utility to flush you out, and you just have all of the utility in the world at your disposal with this breach and Sova on your team. If you're playing a standard comp. It's definitely different with the Neon. It's definitely like a different style. But I mean, the comp is still the same either way. With like during the Neon meta, you've still seen the same two initiators, Breach and Sova. You're starting to see a bit of Breach Taeho, and just like a lot of Taeho get played now because he's the new agent. Like I don't think he's necessarily better or worse than Breach and Sova yet. Like I think the character's not been fully mastered, and I think we'll see an interesting balancing act with how the character gets played. Like, how will the character evolve? How will other characters in the meta evolve? How will new characters influence Taeho? Like, sort of like the same thing that we've seen with Fade. It's like we've seen Fade have a meteoric rise to like popularity, like on Haven especially. Like she kind of killed Sova on Haven because you had the chamber meta, so you needed the Fade, and then you had the Fade and the chamber on your team. So most teams were playing the Raze. You would then have the suck nade. But I mean, even then, like with Breach Taeho, I think they both set up the Jett in different and interesting ways. It's like maybe instead of having a scan on site, you just know, oh, we have a Breach Aftershock like here, a Breach Flash here, Taeho damage here, and like, I don't know, here, like all the problem angles, like boom, they're just gone. And it's just down to you to like swing them and just like take out the problem areas yourself. Identify like where the problem areas are, and then allow your teammates to refrag you after going in. Another like massive attacking, I would say mostly attack, but this could go both sides, is Jett can abuse verticality. Like as you can see here, like an updraft here, boom. But not a lot of agents can abuse this, and definitely not as fluidly as Jett. I think the only other agent you're really looking at is like an Omen. Because like Raze can do it, just not as fluidly as Jett can. No other duelist can. Sage can, but like, what's the last time you've seen a good Sage? And like, where a Sage is getting more value than like a Breach would. Don't even get me started. Like, you're not gonna make the argument of playing a no info sensible comp on Haven to me until like 3 pro teams have done it. Like, it's so hard to play the map on defense with no info sensible, like no Cypher, no KJ, no chamber, no bias. Like, and even on attack, like having no flank watch, and yes, Sage cannot watch flank even though she is a sentinel. It's crazy I have to say that in 2025, but you'd be surprised. If you know, you know. But like looking at her B-site attack, like she by far has like the best ability to like approach the site, like an updraft smoke up here, and she's just like chilling. The only other character you really look at is like maybe an Omen. I mean, I'd be surprised to see teams run Omen as a duelist. It's very unorthodox, and not a lot of people do it. I mean, that has a lot of downsides, unlike Jett, where it's a lot of pros, like garage splits, boom, C. And you have so many different ways of approaching C-site. I messed up that dash.
Blocking sight.
This.
Blocking
This. Or you can dash more like
Blocking
here.
sight.
honestly, like, even Sky is a good initiator behind the Jett, too. You can just, like, throw... So
Careful.
you go in for the dash, and you have, like, a flash comeback sight, and you swing off of it. Like, I truly think Jett pairs well with every initiator in the game, if used well. I really don't have anything else that I can think of off the top of my head. I guess we could go over defaulting with Jett. Like, Jett can control anywhere that she really wants. Like, if she wants to get proactive here on the default, then boom, she can insert herself in like an aftershock or KO damage, KO molly, whatever. Like, you're down almost all your utility, but you're safe. And you get your dash back in 2 kills, so if you, like, kill one here, kill one here, then time skip, plant the bomb on A, you can then get proactive again. Just, like, look for a pick, try to cut down the retake, even out numbers. Like, she can kind of just snowball a little bit in her own sense. Definitely not as comparable to, like, an ISO or Arena, but she still has, like, similar, like, snowballing capabilities. And, like, say your controller dies, like, she can kind of fill this role. I would probably say just double smoke Heaven or double smoke CT before you throw one of each. Obviously, you'd want to time it so it's efficient, like this. Well, I think these are a lot of the reasons. I definitely don't think I went as in depth into this as I would like. I kind of just, like, explained some things really deeply, explained some things, like, really basically, but I think I did a decent job of explaining why Jett was good and, like, doing a decent job of, like, showcasing how to use the Jett on Haven. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you liked the video, drop a like, subscribe for more videos. I'm trying to make more educational Valorant videos, just, like, pick'ems, lineups, just I'm trying to find my footing in content creation for Valorant. Also, I'm on Twitter, it should be in my bio. Every once in a while I go live on Twitch, so drop a follow there. And I'm most active on Discord, so join up there as well. It's also in my bio. Thank you guys for watching, if you made it this far. Hope to see you guys in another video. Later.